rasa mengingatkan cerita kita.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh. Apa khabar tuan-tuan dan puan-puan? Hari ini tetamu istimewa saya ialah Encik Rajivan Gopalakrishnan. Apa khabar? Can I call you Rajivan?
Yes, you can call me Rajiv.
Okay. How are you today?
I'm great. Thank you for inviting me, Umi. It's
Okay.
been an honor to be with you.
Okay. And saya mesti saya pasti Cik Rajivan ni adalah seorang orang muda yang mempunyai cita-cita besar, ya, bukan saja dalam dunia bisnes tapi international, dan dia juga adalah orang yang juga mempunyai cita-cita dalam bidang politik. Seorang pemimpin masa depan negara, dan kita mahukan pemimpin yang berlandaskan ilmu pengetahuan. Mesti dengar, mesti ikut podcast ini. Okay. So, Rajivan, boleh tak ceritakan sikit? Can you introduce yourself a little bit of your background, your educational background and all that, and what are you doing now?
Nama saya Rajivan, and I was born with visual impairment. Saya ada masalah penglihatan disebabkan oleh genetik. Maknanya keluarga saya memang ada ahli keluarga yang ada penyakit mata. Dan sejak saya umur 3 tahun, I was diagnosed with eye disease called FEVR, familial exudative vitreoretinopathy. Maknanya retina is the nerve of the eye.
Wah.
Film.
Rajivan.
Ya.
Oh, susah nak sebut pun susah ni. Kita tanya dulu dia punya background dulu. Rajivan sekarang buat apa? Yang itu tu kita tangguh dulu sebab takut nak dengar pun dia punya apa kata orang? Dia punya nama tu pun very scientific.
Okay.
Sekarang awak buat apa?
Sekarang saya tengah sambung belajar.
Sambung belajar?
Ya.
Tapi daripada biodata ni, awak ni macam-macam ni. Buat
Saya
ni,
buat
cerita
bisnes
sikit.
sejak saya umur 20 tahun.
Buat bisnes?
Saya mencuburi bidang makanan, F&B, food and beverage.
Okey, cerita sikit lah.
Masa saya umur 20 tahun, saya baru keluar daripada universiti.
Universiti mana?
Segi.
Segi,
University,
okey.
ya. Dan seterusnya saya mencuburi bidang makanan lah. So, a friend of my father introduced me to a franchise called Hot and Roll. Ramai mesti kenal lah Hot and Roll.
Weh, Umi tak pernah makan
Tak
lah.
pernah makan.
Nanti belanja lah.
Boleh. Jadi saya ceburi pada masa itu saya masih boleh nampak lah. Memang I was a very good partial. So I was into F&B. I opened up a few kiosk lah. Dia macam it's a kiosk concept.
Okey.
I opened up in Genting Highlands,
Oh.
in Plaza Masalam, Shah Alam, and in a few other universities like MMU Cyberjaya, MMU Melaka.
Okey.
Yeah, and
Ini upmarket punya ni.
15
Dia tak ada pasar malam kan?
years ago lah. So 15 years ago. I
Okey,
started it. So saya sebenarnya kebanyakan through my experience I learn how to run a business.
Okey, okey. Itu minat mungkin dalam keluarga lah kot. Ya.
Ya, ayah saya pun mencuburi bidang tapi he's in the massage business.
Okey.
Yeah.
So, latar belakang education kat mana?
I did my undergraduate at Segi University Business Administration. And lepas tu saya baru dalam I think about 3 years ago I started my masters in public policy dekat Universiti Melaya.
Ini yang mula-mula nak minat jadi ahli politik lah satu hari nanti.
Sejak
bagus.
Kecil lagi ada minat tapi saya tak tahu arah sebab saya tak ada keluarga ataupun kawan yang berada dalam politik. So the only way that I have to learn is from scratch. So public policy pengubal dasar is a main
Dekat mana belajar buat masters ni?
UM.
UM.
Yes.
Itu alma mater saya. Umi Lu graduate daripada UM.
Oh yeah.
Long before you were born, 1971.
Wow,
Okay.
yeah.
So sekarang berapa lama lagi nak buat masters ni?
I am the last semester.
Last sem.
Bulan 1 dah habis dah.
Lepas tu teruskan ke PhD.
Betul.
InsyaAllah. Okey. So, dan sekarang buat apa awak? Masih lagi buat bisnes
Masih
ataupun?
lagi buat bisnes. Saya buat bisnes sumber manusia. So I
Pula dah?
Ya, saya
daripada makanan pergi ke sumber manusia?
Sebab waktu COVID memang bisnes teruk.
Ya.
So saya terpaksa tutup all my outlets lah during that time. So I diverted my business into human resources.
Meaning what?
I supply manpower from the Philippines because my wife is from the Philippines. So
Ni
I-
macam pekerja-pekerja asing ni lah.
pekerja asing.
Oh ya.
Yeah.
Mesti mahal kan?
And
20,000 mi dengar.
Yeah.
Untuk satu helper dekat rumah.
Yeah.
Mahal sekarang. Okey. Dan sekarang dah berumah tangga, dah mempunyai cahaya mata?
Yes, saya ada 2 anak.
2 anak. Okey.
Yang sulung 13 dan yang kecil, yang bongsu 5 tahun.
Okey.
Yeah. Anak saya yang sulung dia autistic and he is also partially visually impaired. Yes.
Dan yang seorang lagi?
Dia sempurna. Dia is normal. He's going for, dia masih bertadika.
Oh, tadika.
Yeah.
Okey. Okey, tadi Rajivan, you said about masalah sakit mata you tu. Boleh explain sikit? At what age you started having your eye problem?
So I was very young. I was probably 3 years old.
3 years
3 years
old.
old. My parents took me to many ophthalmologists and then they discovered that my
How did,
retina-
macam mana you kecil, you 3 tahun, macam mana you yakinkan atau you cakap dengan your parents?
Tak, it's actually the pediatric yang notice sebab I punya mata tak straight, macam juling, mata juling
Okay.
kan. So they said, this child probably have some eye problem, jadi bawa pergi jumpa ophthalmologist. Datuk
Okay.
Shukri, if you might know him.
Yeah.
Shukri Hadib. So I was diagnosed
Very
with,
famous.
very famous.
Yeah.
Doctor. So then I was diagnosed with this. Actually, at that point of time, mereka tak tahu what is the disease called. Mereka just say it's an immature baby, macam immature baby lah.
I see.
But I was not immature baby. I was a full-born baby. But my eye was like an immature baby. My retina was not fully grown. So at the point of time, mereka tak tahu nak buat apa. Mereka biarkan sahaja. And I lost one of my eyesight. One of my eye, which is the left eye, at the age of 3.
At the age of 3.
At the age of 3. But I have a good vision on my right eye. And then, I was developing some sort of vision problem. My retina also detached when I was 9-year-old. And then, of course, they fix it up back. And then slowly towards my adolescent and then towards my later part of my life, I have multiple problems occurring in my right eye.
Like what? Please explain.
Glaucoma.
Uh-huh.
And then I have cataract. So I removed my cataract and then I have
And at such a young age.
Yes.
Because cataract is almost always associated with the elderly.
Correct.
But
I
you
got
were
my
such a little child at that
18
time.
years old, I got my cataract.
Sorry?
18 years old,
18
I got
years
my
old.
cataract. Yeah.
Okay. Between the 3-year-old and then 18, you were already losing your sight. You can't see anymore.
No, I was able to see. I was able to study. Yeah, I was having a good vision actually. To
Okay.
be honest, yeah.
And you studied in a normal school?
No, I went to special school.
Special
which is
school.
SMK Setapak.
Okay. Sekolah khas.
Sekolah khas. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Dan at that time, ada tak you perasan you punya eyesight tu makin lama makin merosot?
after 25 of age, baru I perasan. Before that, I was like kind of stable.
Aha.
Was okay.
Masa tu kan, masa you study dekat sekolah khas tu, setapak tu, apa yang you nampak, apa yang you tak boleh nampak masa tu?
Kalau saya pilih sekolah khas sebab saya tak nampak blackboard.
Okay.
Saya sebenarnya I was in a normal school until I was like standard 6. I was in normal school, Lasal Sentul. Then I was in another school, primary school. Baru sekolah menengah I pindah ke sekolah khas because I cannot see the blackboard.
I see. Masa you tak nampak tu, mak dengan ayah tahu you tak nampak.
Yes.
Right? Before you go to sekolah khas lah.
Yes.
Tapi masa di sekolah biasa tu, mesti tahulah teenager kan masa tu kan.
Yeah.
Mesti orang kata you naughty lah, you tak nak belajar lah and all. Ada tak pengalaman itu masa tu? Ataupun awak dapat meyakinkan mereka bahawa yes, I have a eye problem.
Towards the end of my primary school, I realized I have a bit difficulties to cope in normal school because I can't see the blackboard and that was the problem why I could not focus on my studies. But before that, my studies, I think I did pretty well. Yeah.
Because masa Umi pergi throughout the country talking to people, talking to students and all that, ramai juga student yang datang jumpa, dia kata bila dia cakap dengan cikgu tak percaya, cikgu ingat dia naughty. Dia cakap dengan mak dan ayah pun, mak ayah ingat dia main-main. Kata tak nampak bored lah apa semua tu kan.
Yeah.
So dalam you punya case, your parents also knew that you are having this eye problem.
Yes, they knew because I lost my one sight when I was 3 years old. So I was only having one eye vision. Yeah.
Okay. And then masa tu you dah terus pergi ke, bila you dah secondary school tu, terus pergi ke Dr. Shukri.
Tak, saya pergi Dr. Shukri masa saya umur 3 tahun, saya dah follow up.
Okay. You are lucky because he's a specialist, right?
Yes, correct.
And you have the money.
Yes.
Okay, it's quite costly. I know.
Yeah.
So lepas itu you makin lama makin merosot.
Yes.
Sebenarnya apa penyakit yang you hidap tu?
Yeah, after my son was born in 2012 at HKL, and then the unit at HKL, they had a pediatric ophthalmology, is a very special department at HKL. Mereka yang diagnose that my son is having FEVR, familial exudative vitreoretinopathy. That's the term used to identify the disease. It's a genetic disease.
When you say genetic, can you please explain? Ini yang merisaukan banyak orang.
Genetic disease is from your past family members, from your ancestors. So it comes down through your gene. So some does carry, some doesn't carry. Like I have 2 twin brother. But they do not carry the same gene.
You have two?
Yeah, my second and third brother, they are twins.
I
Yeah,
see.
I'm not a twin.
Okay. They also have?
They don't have.
Oh, they don't
They
have?
don't have, yeah.
Okay.
So to clarify things, I did a genetic testing myself. I took my blood, I took some of my family members' blood sample. We sent it to the United States to identify the correct sequence yang menyebabkan they call it mutation of gene yang sebabkan penyakit tu. We managed to find it out, but there's no cure. We can't cure it. Maybe in the future, if there's a way to cure it, we can reverse the mutation.
Maknanya dia boleh melangkau satu age group ke macam mana?
Dia is like they call
bypass.
it autodomino, means it's either girl or boy akan kena juga.
Okay.
Yeah.
So bila you tahu tentang hal itu, you bincang dengan keluarga.
Yes, yeah.
Dan macam mana keluarga menerima hakikat? This is a fact that the whole family ni keturunan.
Betul.
Macam mana you all berbincang? Adakah other family member pun kena dalam keluarga besar you?
Yeah, there are like 11 of us in the family. 11 of us.
And the same type of
Same type.
disease?
Same
Eye disease?
Same symptoms, semua sama.
Okay.
So we are being treated at the same HKL pediatric department. All the
We are
children
very
are-
lucky sebab
They are
kita ada
very great doctors there.
Yeah. And sekarang ni kebanyakannya member, berapa orang dalam keluarga awak yang ada masalah ni?
11,
11.
yeah.
Termasuk your father?
Termasuk my father, termasuk myself, my son, my uncle's 3 children and their children, so total of 11.
Your mother tak?
No, my mother tak. It's from my father.
It's from
Dia
your
daripada
father.
jin atuk saya dari belah ayah.
Belah ayah. Okay.
Ha.
Ini adalah satu kata orang hakikat yang kita kena terima, dan rakyat Malaysia kena mengetahui hakikat ini. Kerana Rajivan tahu kan, biasanya kan, tak tahulah masyarakat Western kita tak tahu, tapi kalau masyarakat Malaysia, kita jarang cerita pasal keturunan yang mempunyai penyakit.
Betul.
Very kita keep it a secret.
Yeah.
Dalam
Like a
keluarga you ada bincang tak masalah ini?
Ada, banyak kali kita pernah bincang, then we find a solution bagaimana the future generation kita tak, we have to avoid this from spreading. Tapi very very slim the chance of us to eradicate this completely unless we abort the child at a very young age, but we can't do that. Of course.
And dia juga boleh mengakibatkan relationships.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
Misal kata you nak kahwin ke,
Betul.
bila you cerita terus terang,
Yes.
the other party pun reject you,
Yeah.
things like that. So
Betul.
banyak kesan-kesan sampingan social dari
Betul.
segi social, ya, social issues. So dalam keadaan awak ni, boleh terangkan tak apa yang awak nampak dan apa yang awak tak nampak?
I was able to see, saya nampak boleh kata reasonably good lah sampai tahun lepas, di mana mata saya makin merosot, penglihatan saya makin merosot, dan saya bercadang nak ubat mata, nak buat operate dekat UK. So saya pergi ke UK dekat hospital yang sangat terkenal di dunia, Moorfields Eye Hospital di London. Saya jumpa dengan doktor pakar dan mereka telah membuat pembedahan ke atas mata saya, dan saya telah balik, saya nampak lebih jelas. I can see better.
Sebelah mata je lah.
Sebelah tu.
Sebelah ni dah
Ya,
memang tak boleh
memang
buat
tak boleh
apa-apa.
So sejak saya balik, I could not return back for follow up. I could not return back due to various reasons. Satu logistik, satu also financial. So I terpaksa follow up dekat sini, and then I think that's the fate lah. So I lost my vision after 5 eye surgeries in the span of 6 months. I did 5 eye surgeries
Local.
locally and also in UK.
So now you are considered as
B1.
B1.
Yes.
B1.
Yeah. The day I still remember when I woke up, I tak nampak beza siang atau malam. That was the day in my life. I was 35 at the age of 35. That was the day that I could not differentiate between day and night. So the first day was incredibly devastating. Like I feel like I want to end my life because
Okay.
I can't see the day or light. I can't see the
Yeah.
sun. I can only feel the sun.
Uh-huh.
So it took me 6 months to
Adapt.
recover, adapt, and to be resilient. I know at the end of the day we have to accept.
Out of your 11 in your family tadi tu, adakah dia punya simptom tu ataupun perkara yang mereka lalui tu sama aja di antara 11 orang ataupun lain-lain orang lain?
So far, we have seen the patterns are almost the same.
Almost the
Almost
same,
the same,
including your father
Yeah.
and your little son.
They all lose their vision. Sometimes some of them during their teenage, some of them during their 20s. I lose my vision when I'm 35. So yeah, I'm the oldest to lose age
I
of
see.
35.
And your little child now?
They're all still able to see partially. They're okay.
So he macam your son,
Yes.
your little one,
Yeah.
how old is he now? 3.
The little one is 5-year-old, but he's not diagnosed with eye problem. He's normal.
Yang satu seorang lagi tu.
Seorang lagi 13.
Okay.
Dia ada masalah penglihatan, at the same time masalah
Same, dia
mental.
punya simptom sama
Symptom
dengan you.
Sama.
Allahu Akbar. And your father also same.
Same.
Okay, bila Umi dengar awak punya pengalaman menghadapi hakikat bahawa ini adalah satu genetik penyakit keturunan, ya. Dan masa awak mula-mula tahu tentang hal ini, berapa ramai dalam family dah kena sakit ni?
11 orang memang dah
No, masa you realise that it's genetic.
probably 7 or 8.
7.
Yeah.
And then you keep on increasing.
You keep on increasing, yes.
Okay.
Because when new couples get married, they have children, so they
Yeah,
somehow
yeah. And the explanation given by the expert,
it's a genetic disease. It's not a disease of the eye, but it's in your DNA. So it's a mutation.
tidak ada satu cara pun untuk mengelak.
Kita boleh we can prolong the vision as much as they could, but there's no cure as of now, because the most research being conducted. Sebab this disease is very rare.
Yeah.
Very very less families have this kind of disease. Even in Malaysia, I think only one family other than us. But even then, mereka cuma 1 atau 2 orang saja yang menghidap penyakit FEVR.
You are the yang
The
paling
largest
ramai.
family, yes.
The largest family.
Yeah. In fact, there's a research paper done on our family.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was published in one of the renowned journal lah. Medical journal.
International Center.
Journal. Yes.
International
Research was done
Centre.
by Malaysians,
Uh-huh.
and they took our details, they researched on our
Okay.
blood sample, and the paper was also published.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. I need to catch up on that, ya.
Sure.
Because I think kalau genetik ni kita betul kena fokus lah.
Yeah.
Okay. Dan so sekarang ni macam dalam bahasa Malaysia kan kita ada satu terminologi lah, berdamai dengan takdir.
Betul.
That means you have to accept your fate. Okay.
Betul.
And because you cannot mengelak because it's in the genes.
Correct.
Right.
Yes.
So, but then I noticed that you are still macam mana? Bukan up and above lah. You are still very aggressively living your life. For example, you ada cita-cita nak jadi politician. You nak pergi belajar lagi.
Yeah.
Masters and then PhD. Apa yang membuatkan you mempunyai semangat yang begitu?
Cita-cita ni memang saya ada dari sejak kecil lagi. Saya nak jadi politician, businessman and all that. But when I lose my eye, I thought tak bolehlah saya tinggalkan cita-cita saya just because I can't see. So I have to find a way and perseverance lah. Kita kena ada perseverance to achieve what we have set as a goal. So only then baru kita sempurnakan kita punya cita-cita. So that's what makes me going, and I hope I will achieve what I aim for.
Dan memandangkan, sebab kadang-kadang orang punya cita-cita nak jadi kaya. Macam you, kenapa you memilih nak masuk dalam bidang governance, especially as a politician? Are you going to fight for the disabled? Are you going to apa sebabnya?
Sebabnya like what you say, we as a disabled community in Malaysia, we have lots and lots of issues yang kita perlu bawa ke atas. It's like in terms of policy matters, daripada keundangan, our Disabled Act is very poor. We don't have protection in terms of our public transport. Saya bukan complain, I'm not complaining, but I think we can do better compared to the Western country.
Secara berfakta. Bukannya
saya tak complain.
emosi.
Yeah, bukan emosi. We have to ensure that the rights are being delivered to the community. So that's what I aim since I'm very young.
Maybe you can initiate a group of politically inclined blind or you in general to actually have a community yang berfikiran sama dengan you.
Boleh.
Sebab you are still young, and then Malaysia need people like you yang dapat menjadi contoh dan teladan kepada orang-orang muda yang lain lah.
Yeah.
Sebab Umi ni tak suka tengok orang berhujah menggunakan emosi.
Yes.
Umi suka tengok orang berhujah menggunakan fakta.
Betul.
With your international linkages kan. Okay, since this is a very, macam mana nak sebut, rare disease, apa pandangan Rajivan tentang keperluan kita di Malaysia untuk mengadakan satu pusat penyelidikan, a centralized research center for blindness?
It is good initiative. Satu, I will surely welcome such initiative. Sebab the pharmaceutical company around the world, mereka, they are money driven. So kalau mereka nak buat satu research berkenaan dengan satu penyakit, it must be a very well-known disease. Like for example, macular degeneration. Dekat Amerika, I think 3 out of 5 blind having macular degeneration or diabetic retinal.
Yes.
So it's widely spread. I mean, a lot of people having this disease. So a lot of research are being conducted in that direction. Whereas there are lots and lots of smaller disease, like it's not so widely spread, like my disease, for example. So the pharmaceutical company would not put their money to invest and research. So this kind of government linked or NGO powered research would greatly help to probably prevent or cure the eye disease.
Well, that is something that kita kena, MAB kena initiate lah.
Yes,
ya, sebab you tahu kan, tahun depan kita akan merayakan 75 tahun kita telah berkhidmat untuk OKU penglihatan kan.
Yes.
We are the oldest and the largest and the most, to me lah, the most committed to
NGOs.
help the, so research is something that we should also focus on now.
Yes.
Okay, pesanan terakhir daripada Rajivan kepada rakyat Malaysia.
be aware of your site. Go and check your site regularly, especially when you're 50 and above. I think it's necessary kepada semua rakyat Malaysia untuk to have their eyesight checked by a professional. Sebab sekarang ni there's a lot of disease that can lead to blindness. Slowly they can cause blindness, like for example glaucoma. You would not know, but it's irreversible. Means whatever that you have lost, you cannot obtain back. So it's better to prevent and go for regular checkup.
Okey. Kedua, tentang ilmu. Apa pesan you kepada rakyat Malaysia?
Okay.
Pasal bila orang tengok kan, alah, malaslah nak belajar lagi. Tapi you kan, walaupun you tak nampak, you ada cita-cita nak sampai ke level PhD.
Yeah.
Bagi sikit pesanan kepada rakyat Malaysia, terutama sekali orang-orang muda ni.
Ilmu, we can find knowledge forever till we die. We can find. So do not stop at any age of looking for knowledge, because nourishing ourselves with knowledge will develop ourselves. We can think wisely. Kita boleh buat decision wisely. So do not stop absorbing knowledge, learning. Either you learn from a university or learning through internet, it's still a learning process. So develop yourself is good for the community.
Soalan ketiga yang sangat-sangat penting, perspektif yang ketiga ialah oleh kerana penyakit yang you hidap ini melibatkan 11 orang member dalam keluarga. Apakah peranan keluarga dalam konteks you ni kan memainkan peranan untuk menguatkan lagi the strength to move forward for all these 11 people yang mengidap penyakit ini?
Ya, saya nak berkongsi. Saya sangat bertuah kerana saya dilahirkan dalam keluarga ini, sebab keluarga saya mereka faham dan they exactly know what is needed. Like for example, if we need some help, they're always there to help, and they know how exactly it is to be done. But in my experience, I've met family members who have lost their vision, but disebabkan ahli keluarga mereka tidak ada pengetahuan. If for example macam mana nak bawa mereka, mobility and so on. So I'm kind of happy that my family members, they are quite knowledgeable and they know how to engage with the blind community, unlike some people. But my advice is for those who have family members who are becoming blind or visually impaired, to get yourself learning about disability, about blindness. It will greatly help their family member.
Yeah. I cannot not ask you this question, okay? Because I know you have something to share on technology. Now we have AI and all sorts. We have also Seeing AI. Yes. Apa pendapat Rajivan tentang the development of technology untuk membantu OKU penglihatan?
It's very promising. Sangat, it's very promising to say. Like me, I'm using these glasses. This is Meta AI glasses. Dia ada camera, dia ada mic, and it has a speaker near my ears. I can communicate with my glasses just through my voice. I can ask my glasses to look for something, to describe something, to read something. So in my daily life, it really helps me a lot. I boleh pakai baju. I mean, I can ask what is the pattern on my clothes. If you give me a paper, I can read it. I can know what is in front of me. So dependency on others have reduced greatly.
Okay.
Yeah. So and this is what we're having now. So in another 5 years time, or probably 10 years time, you'll be not surprised that we will be able to see again through chips in our brain.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, I heard about that. Yes. Inshallah. Okay, thank you very much, young man.
Thank you.
You have opened up a new, I don't know how to say it. I feel very emotional about, talking to all of you. Pengalaman-pengalaman hidup Rajivan dan juga kawan-kawan tadi telah diharap telah dapat membuka mata, bukan saja mata mata hati pendengar-pendengar, orang-orang yang sudi menonton podcast ini. So, thank you very much and all the best to you.
Thank you very much, Umi.
Okay. Okey. Sekianlah saja. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi taala wabarakatuh.
saja